So everyone, welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're focusing on the Buffalo Sabres and what I would do if I was put in charge of rebuilding that team. Obviously losing the other night to Columbus. I think Ralston had a little show of emotion in between the second and third period. And, it's going to be a long season in Buffalo. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Vanek and Miller will definitely be traded. In fact, I'll talk about that, but I'd also put Tyler Myers in that mix. I think it's time to cut bait with Tyler Myers. I wouldn't amnesty him. I would amnesty Ehrhoff, however, and eat the rest of that contract. But I'd have to have Terry Pegula's money, which I don't, but Terry Pegula does. I think Tyler Myers has really run his course in Buffalo, and I think there's definitely a team willing to give him a fresh, clean slate and a fresh start, which I think is what he needs. I think looking at it from a business perspective, that contract's really hefty, but from a hockey perspective, he's a 6'7" defenseman that won the Calder Trophy 4 years ago. So, there's that. You got to go off that. He's 23, 24 years old. There's still a lot to work with there. I think, with the right system and the right change of scenery, you can do just fine. And, I'm looking to get whatever back. And then Miller and Vanek, they're both in last year's their contract. I think, you're starting to move away from that era of the Buffalo Sabres to the new one with Grigorenko, Gergensons, Zadorov, Ristolainen, guys like that at the forefront. And I thought Buffalo had the best drafts of any team. I thought them and Calgary had the two best drafts. Columbus did as well. Columbus in the mix, but I think Buffalo definitely, because they got good value in every round. Acquiring Jimmy McBain for Andrej Sekera, and also getting a second round pick, getting a pretty good player in Connor Hurley. JT Compher, Florentino later on. They really did, and we talked about the two defensemen they took in the first round. They did a fantastic job, and I think that they should be commended for that. Having said all that, until those guys are ready, it's going to be a while before those guys are ready. And, you have to rebuild and get as many assets back as possible. I'd look at trading Vanek out west. I think either San Jose or Los Angeles would be a good fit for him. Ryan Miller, some team's going to need a goalie. And Tyler Myers, any team with cap room, I think would take a flyer on him. Flyers right there. They need defensemen. I think it's funny on Philly is you figure they'd be in the Ryan Miller sweepstakes, but the two goalies aren't the reason they suck this year. I think it's every other asset of that team. Why Philly isn't playing up to par. But, going back to the Sabres, it's going to be a dark period. Plain and simple. And I think the best thing to do is get as many assets now and focus on the rebuilding process rather than hold on to them until it's too late like Pittsburgh did with Iginla. They got fleeced in the Iggy trade. I know it's more sentimental giving Iginla the chance to win, but they could have gotten a lot back for him. They could have gotten more back. They could have gotten they got good return on Bomeister. And the Kiprusoff retiring kind of threw a wrench in getting anything back for him, but it is what it is, and I think that and I keep Ralston on. I think that the Sabres organization will be on the right track sooner rather than later, but they've got to make the painful moves now so they can reap the benefits down the line. That's my spiel for that. Anyway, that's this episode of the Power Play with CJ on what I would do to rebuild the Buffalo Sabres. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.